Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. We're making some pretty adorable pumpkins today. These are dollar store pumpkins, and this is, I don't remember seeing these last year, but maybe they came in later. I've been using these over the years, which painted up are fine. They're basically the same pumpkin. Um, This has just got kind of a plastic coating over it, but when you start painting it, you can kind of see the dimples that the styrofoam underneath makes. But they're come in different shapes and sizes, which is nice. It gives you some variety. So I bought a couple different ones this year. They come with a tag on them, and to get rid of the tag, you can either cut really close, or what I've been doing is I just pulling straight out like that. It does leave a little bit of a dimple, but that dimple was honestly there anyway, from them poking it in, the tag in there, or the tagging gun in there. So I've already painted up an orange, and this is the one I did as my sample. And I'm using IODs. This is Summer Crush, and this one's Old School. I did the Old School because I love the fact that it looks kind of like a chalkboard, and it's kind of a cool black gray. So we're gonna, and then this is last year's pumpkin, or the pumpkin they usually have. All of the stems come off, so you can go ahead and pull the stems. That one was, I pulled out when I was buying it by accident. These ones are glued down a little bit better. So just, you can see that the vinyl in there is trying to pull up. So just kind of gently wiggle them. Some of them came off really easy without any problems. This one's being a little bit more stubborn. I can twist it a little bit to help get it off. They put a ton of glue on that guy. So just kind of clean up your stem a little bit. And then we'll paint them. And I'm going to do this one, the Old School also. And because these are styrofoam on the inside, you can't use a heat gun. I mean, you can, but it'll completely, it has the potential of changing the shape. So don't use a heat gun. If you're impatient and need to dry, use a hair dryer. That's what I've been using in between coats. This one will probably, looks like it might only take one coat. This one was the lighter color. It took 2 coats. And I think if I was going to do like quite a few of these, what I think I would do is grab a piece of styrofoam, a sheet, you know, from packaging, and use a wire, just a thin wire, and poke it in there, and then poke it in the styrofoam. You could paint the top and then flip it over, and you could use the whole existing hole to go through the top. And that way you're not holding it, and when you go to blow dry it, if you choose to blow dry it, then it you're not holding it and heating up your hand or overheating your hand. And just get in there. So I'll show you here what it looks like, how fast it goes if you just use a blow dryer. So through the magic of video, this is finished painted and dried. I liked the fact that a little bit of the green was showing through. So I went ahead and took a, this is a baby wipe, but a wet paper towel, if it's DIY paint, just kind of went through and just kind of take a little bit of that paint off. So a little bit of the green shows through a little bit more. And I'm just kind of trying to be random, not being super random, obviously, but I think it'll add to it. So I'm going to be using IOD's Rose Toil. And I'm going to use the smaller one. And I'm going to use the bigger one for the flatter pumpkin. And I'm using IOD's white mixing white, I think is what it's called. I have it backwards on my thing. You can't tell I've been cheating and double dipping. This is not supposed to be the color of your ink pad, especially if it's supposed to be white. That being said, it will still stamp white. I don't know what I did here. I'm going to blame it on my little nephews, but that's probably not true. So I'm just inking it up here. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to get rid of this core if I can. Maybe I can't. We'll just work with it. It's kind of sticking up, where this one, you can see it's indented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to put my finger in the middle of the stamp, which is then going to go in the middle of the pumpkin. Let's get this little guy aside. And you want to just go straight down. And then you're going to try not to pivot it anywhere. And then from there, just hold your finger there, and you're going to go down one by one, each little tentacle, basically, of the stamp. And go ahead and raise it when you're done doing it. And you're going to do this all the way around. And you're going to pivot the stamp without, basically, you don't want to lift your finger because it might pivot the stamp a little bit, and then you're going to get ghosting. And ghosting is when you've moved your stamp a little bit, and then you go ahead and you do it, and so there's two lines. Just try to be careful as you're moving. You can use your finger, your other fingers on the hand that's holding it, to just kind of hold things in place. And like I said, then let it pop up. And if you have somebody to help you, this would be a great project for little ones to help you. You know, if they're really young, they can hold the center, and you can be doing the pushing down. I just did a no-no there. I think I double hit that. We will see. So this one goes down quite a ways, so I'm gonna have to use all fingers involved here. Okay, I think I have gone all the way around. There we go. Now, when you first stamp it, especially with the mixing white, it does look a little messy because it's shiny. Once it dries, it'll look better. One of the things that you want to make sure you're doing as you're going along is trying to get the stamp kind of worked into the lines a little bit. It doesn't have to be all the way in there, but get it kind of so it's wrapping around. And there we go. So I didn't love the way my white pumpkin turned out, or my orange pumpkin with the white turned out. It's okay. So I decided I'm going to do one with stone gray. IOD's Stone Gray ink. And I just wipe down my stamp with a baby wipe. If you want to get them really clean, I've got a short video on how to clean your stamps. It's super easy. So, get this in the right position. My finger in the center. Really trying to get the ink into the little crevices of the pumpkin. Get a little closer to me. When you're switching fingers, keep your one finger there until your other finger is in place. And then remove it. Looking pretty good. Yeah, I like the black or the stone gray so much better. It shows up better. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom. Same thing. I love this one because it has a little bit of a wart on it, just like a real pumpkin. It's very sweet. So without fail, I think of stuff as soon as I turn off the camera. Two things. The holes, when you pull out, get larger than the core, especially if you take all the extra stuff off. You can leave the extra stuff off. That would help to adhere it back in there. So since I removed it, I'm going to go ahead and put a little extra glue on the base of this so it sticks. I'm just going to kind of push it in there. So that's number one. This one, where the stem of it, the part that stayed in, this part, it didn't come out with the rest of the stem. It was left behind. So that's making this a little harder to stay put while it's drying. So one of two things. You could just I'm going to go ahead and take this off for a quick second. Put a dab of hot glue in the center. And then since it's plastic to plastic, that's not going to melt around. And then you'll have to work kind of, well, you could put the E6000 around first, then put a little dab of the hot glue in the center, and then put it down. So that way it'll hold it in place while your, the hot glue will hold it in place while the E6000 or whatever glue you're using will, while it dries. You can also hit it a little bit with your hair dryer just to give it a little bit of a skin. And I noticed that kept it in place also. So it just helped dry it a little bit. So just a few tips about the stems. If you have any questions about any of the products we used in this video, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. Thank you. Bye.